Imagine this. You wake up, grab your wallet, and head to the store. You scan your credit card. Declined. You try another. Declined. You check your banking app. Nothing wrong. The problem isn't you. It's everywhere. News breaks. Global credit card outage. Payments frozen worldwide. Grocery stores, gas stations, online shopping, paralyzed. No one can buy anything. No one can pay for anything. And just like that, the entire economy begins to crack. But how would it really unfold? Today we're going to walk through the first minutes, the first hours, and the first days of a world without credit cards. At first, nobody understands what's happening. People at grocery stores keep swiping their cards, frowning at the machines. Gas station pumps freeze. Online shopping carts fill up, but checkout screens stay stuck on processing. Social media lights up with confusion. Anyone else having trouble with their credit cards? Is Visa down? Is it my bank? Banks scramble to respond, but they don't have answers. Because this time, it's not a glitch. This time, it's every card, everywhere. Panic starts small, a few frustrated customers here and there. But within an hour, it spreads like wildfire. News channels interrupt programming. Breaking banners flash across screens. Massive payment system outage. No timeline for fix. Suddenly, everyone realizes, it's not just you. It's the entire economy, standing still. As the hours tick by, a new panic begins to spread. And this time, it's not just confusion. It's survival instinct. People realize they can't use their credit cards, but they still need to buy groceries, gas, medicine. There's only one option left: cash. ATMs become ground zero for the crisis. Across towns and cities, long snaking lines form outside bank branches and cash machines. At first, the atmosphere is tense but orderly. People glance nervously at their phones, refreshing news apps, hoping for an update. Mothers clutch their kids. Seniors sit on curbs, waiting under the beating sun. And inside the banks, panic is brewing. Cash reserves were never meant for a rush like this. Most ATMs carry enough bills for a normal day of transactions, not for a mass withdrawal frenzy. By noon, out-of-service signs start popping up everywhere. Machines empty. Branches lock their doors. Fights erupt. People pound on the windows, shouting at terrified tellers inside. Security guards struggle to keep order. Police are called in to break up crowds at several locations. Meanwhile, inside supermarkets and gas stations, another reality sets in. Cash only. Hastily scribbled signs are taped to windows. Clerks announce it over crackling loudspeakers. Credit and debit services are currently unavailable. Cash only, please. The problem? Most customers don't have cash. They tap their pockets, their phones, their useless cards, but find nothing. Some leave their carts behind and rush for ATMs. Others beg the cashier to hold their items, just for a few minutes, as they try to find a way to pay. And as hours pass, desperation deepens. Some begin offering valuables, jewelry, watches, phones, just to buy food or gas. A few merchants accept, most don't. Across the country, a chilling new feeling creeps in. Trust, the glue of everyday life, starts to dissolve. Without quick access to money, every simple interaction becomes a negotiation, a plea, a gamble. And under that surface tension, anger brews. Not everyone will stay calm much longer. As cash dries up and credit remains frozen, a second wave of chaos hits. This time, deeper and wider. Supply chains begin to fracture. Supermarkets realize they can't restock. Vendors can't process payments for new deliveries. Truck drivers hesitate to haul loads they might not get paid for. In grocery stores, shelves start to thin. First, it's fresh produce and meats. Then it's canned goods, cleaning supplies, baby formula. Managers scramble, rationing what little stock remains. Some stores impose limits, 2 items per customer. Others simply shut their doors, unwilling to face the growing, desperate crowds. Meanwhile, at gas stations, the situation worsens. Without a way to verify payments reliably, many stop fuel deliveries altogether. Lines stretch around the block for the few stations still selling gas for cash. Fights break out as people cut in line, fueled by fear and frustration. Across towns and cities, delivery trucks sit idle in warehouses. Farmers can't sell their produce. Wholesalers can't move inventory. Entire local economies, dependent on the smooth flow of goods and services, begin to seize up like a machine running out of oil. And for the first time in a long time, in a society used to abundance, the fear of scarcity becomes real. For big corporations, credit freeze is a crisis. But for small businesses, it's a death sentence. As payments dry up, local shops struggle to survive even a single day. Mom and pop diners, corner gas stations, family-run pharmacies, most of them live on tight margins, relying on daily sales to cover rent, utilities, and payroll. Without card payments, customers vanish. Cash dries up, and the bills keep coming. In downtown strips and suburban plazas, storefronts go dark, closed until further notice signs appear overnight. Employees, baristas, waiters, clerks, are told not to come in. Paychecks bounce. Health insurance evaporates. Across towns, local economies hollow out almost instantly. Friday nights once spent at the local diner? Gone. Saturday errands at the corner store? Impossible. And for families who run these businesses, generations who poured everything into them, the collapse feels personal. It's not just about losing money, it's about losing identity, losing trust, losing hope. In just a few days, vibrant communities start to look like ghost towns. As businesses shutter and cash runs out, the fear that's been simmering quietly finally boils over. Protests erupt across major cities. It starts small, crowds gathering outside banks, demanding answers, demanding access to their own money. But frustration quickly escalates. Tempers flare. Pushing turns to shoving. Shouting turns to violence. In some areas, storefronts are smashed. Grocery stores are looted, not for electronics or luxury goods, but for basics: food, water, medicine. Police struggle to contain the chaos. Local governments scramble to impose curfews, trying to restore order. But it's not just major cities feeling the heat. Small towns, once peaceful, see rising tensions too. Neighbors eye each other with suspicion. Fear spreads faster than any official news. Rumors swirl. The banks aren't coming back. This is just the beginning. Trust, the invisible thread holding society together, starts to unravel. And once fear takes root, rationality disappears. People hoard what little they have. Supplies are hidden. Communities turn inward. It's no longer about living, it's about surviving. Even for those who aren't directly facing violence or hunger, the psychological damage spreads like a virus. Anxiety becomes the new background noise of daily life. Every trip to a store, a risk. Every visit to an ATM, a gamble. Parents try to shield their kids from the fear, but children are sharp. They notice the tension. They hear the whispered arguments at night. Mental health hotlines are overwhelmed. Therapists struggle to keep up with calls about panic attacks, insomnia, and depression. People who once felt invincible, financially secure, safe in their routines, now feel exposed, vulnerable, powerless. In neighborhoods, distrust spreads faster than any real threat. You wonder if your neighbor is hoarding supplies, if the corner store owner will raise prices, if tomorrow will be worse than today. And for millions, it becomes easier to simply stay inside, to avoid crowds, to avoid conflict, to retreat. But isolation only deepens the wounds. When communities fracture, healing becomes that much harder. And long after the economy recovers, if it ever does, the emotional scars remain. As the chaos deepens, governments and corporations scramble to patch the bleeding economy. Emergency meetings are held behind closed doors. Central banks announce crisis measures, new payment systems being rushed online, emergency cash distributions, temporary nationalization of banking services. Tech companies deploy quick-fix apps, promising peer-to-peer transactions without cards. Some work, most don't. The news media spins hopeful headlines. Relief is coming. New systems launching soon. But for everyday people on the ground, the promises feel hollow. Bills are due now. Food is needed now. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. Many refuse to believe anything they hear from officials. Skepticism and anger grow. Even as emergency systems come online, many merchants and customers are slow to adopt them. Some are too scared. Some are too burned. Meanwhile, small businesses that collapsed in the first wave don't magically reopen. Bankruptcies pile up. Jobs lost aren't instantly replaced. In the background, inflation starts creeping in. As the government pumps cash into a broken system, prices surge. Essentials become harder to afford, even for those lucky enough to still have some form of income. The message is clear. You can reboot technology. You can flood the market with cash. But once you break trust, rebuilding a society is something else entirely. Weeks pass. The worst of the chaos fades, but things don't go back to the way they were. The economy limps forward on patched systems and temporary fixes. Trust between customers and banks, between neighbors, between governments and citizens, is weaker than ever. Saving becomes the new obsession. Spending slows down. Consumers who once bought on impulse now hoard essentials, skeptical that supply chains will stay stable. In some ways, society becomes more resilient. Local businesses see a revival. Community barter systems emerge. People start valuing relationships and real security over the illusion of convenience. But underneath it all, a new kind of anxiety lingers. A constant, low-level fear. If it happened once, it could happen again. And no matter how advanced the systems become, no matter how seamless technology feels, that memory of the day when plastic cards stopped working and the world almost collapsed never fully fades. If this made you stop and think, even for a second, you're exactly the kind of person we're making this for. Because the world we live in looks stable, until one crack shows us how fragile everything really is. If you felt the weight of it today, if you imagined yourself standing in those lines, or wondering how you'd get by, then you already understand. Asking what if isn't just curiosity, it's preparation, it's awareness, it's power. So if you haven't yet, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that stories like this matter. Drop a comment below. We read every single one. And most importantly, subscribe so you never miss the questions that just might change the way you see everything.